Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to On Your Mental. This is the podcast that shares candid, open, and sometimes vulnerable conversations between and about men. And today, it's me and Kabir, and we're talking about masculinity and a little bit about sexuality at some point there. Cool conversation. I hope you all enjoy. And if you're not already, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for the weekly episodes every Monday. If you like today's video, hit that like button. If you want to leave a comment about something in the video, leave a comment. If you want to leave a comment about something to talk about in a future episode, leave a comment. Anyways, enjoy today's episode, and I'll see you all again at the end. Peace. So I'm starting a new job. This is perhaps news to you.
You're starting a new job?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of town.
I got the job today. And they already sent me some swag from the company.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Sounds fishy.
So I'm working at the FBI.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm starting at the FBI.
Crazy.
Yeah, and
That's as official as it gets.
wait a second. Female body inspector. Get out of town. Oh man, you see, because at first glance, it's the official seal.
Yeah, it's the official seal.
I wonder what I signed up for. In reality, my friend at work gave me this as a belated birthday gift. My birthday was in March.
Right.
This is July, whatever.
Better late than never.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you so much. His name's Devin. Thank you, Devin. And we have a shared love for the other guys.
Nice.
And that's a common thing on this channel so
Right.
far. It's a shared love for the other guys. Amazing movie.
Yeah. Does he work in the FBI?
Yeah, he works for the FBI.
Really? What department?
I think it's boobs.
Boobs.
Probably boobs.
Boobs.
Big boobs guy.
It's a good department.
The topic, though, for today's conversation, first of all, welcome everybody back to On Your Mental. This is a podcast where we share candid, open, sometimes vulnerable conversations between and about men, talking about things that are on our minds. Wow. Whoa. I got to start getting that really nailed down. Giving a man a gift in the movie The Other Guys gets made fun of.
Right.
And
By Mark Wahlberg.
By Mark Wahlberg. He's like, you should never get a man a gift.
He throws it out the window.
Throws it out the window. Because Will Ferrell's character gives him the mug, and it's that mug, gives him the mug, and then he tosses it and says, you should never give a man a gift.
Yeah.
That wasn't why I thought of this topic, but it just happened to work out well. I got this today, and this happened to work out well. But today we're going to be talking about masculinity and maybe even a little bit of sexuality. I don't know if that'll end up coming up. If we end up getting to it, we get to it. But talking about masculinity and what it looks like to us. I've had a similar conversation, I guess, with Joe in the past on the podcast. We talked about what it means to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
But I think masculinity is different because obviously masculinity isn't exclusive to men.
Right.
You know, you can be masculine in whatever gender, but you can be feminine in whatever gender. So that's what I kind of want to touch on.
That's true.
So we're going to get at it. And maybe we'll start the conversation and I'll ask you, what do you think masculine is? What is it to be masculine? Well, what are some things?
Some things, yeah.
Yeah.
First thoughts that pop up into my head. Johnny Bravo, right?
Dude, big time.
I remember watching Johnny Bravo.
Hey, mama.
Yeah. Deep voice.
Yeah.
These are just things I'm thinking of right away off the fly,
off the cuff, man.
off the noggin.
Yeah.
Deep voice, big body, muscular.
Mm-hmm.
Sunglasses, mysterious.
Yeah.
Stoic, doesn't get emotionally involved in things.
That's an interesting one. Sure.
Has a way with the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going off Johnny Bravo.
Please.
Right?
Yeah. This guy loves Johnny Bravo. I'm just seeing you as a kid, you're just sitting in your room, just only watching Johnny Bravo. I'm gonna be that guy. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm just picturing a buff dude, chest hair blowing in the wind,
wispy. Let me take a button down here. Get a little hair out,
Oh,
a little trimmed hair. We'll get to that later too.
Anyways,
yeah, Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo, alpha male kind of. Well, given But
Based off of like most of those things that you just said, I would assume that you consider yourself a pretty masculine guy then.
I guess so, yeah.
You're large. You have a deep voice, smooth with the ladies. This guy can put on.
I wouldn't say my voice
sunglasses.
is that deep.
I'd say it's. I wouldn't say my voice is that deep. That was his voice.
That wasn't. He just edited that. That's crazy. He's editing this too. Here's my real voice.
What's
I'll
going
turn on
on?
my voice changer.
Oh man, we should get a voice changer on here.
We should.
That would actually be a lot of fun. I'll touch on that point that you made about not being like emotionally reactive to things.
Right. Being in control of your emotions, I guess.
That's an important thing, I think. Absolutely, having good control, good composure.
Composure
I guess that's
was
what
one of
that
the
is.
words I was looking for.
Yeah. Why do you think that's a masculine trait, having composure?
I think just because when I compare masculinity to femininity, femininity.
It's a hard word. I've been trying to do it all day before
Have you?
this. Femininity.
Femininity.
What's the gefilte fish?
Gefilte fish. Gefilte fish.
Femininity.
And I think of femininity, it's more emotionally powered, I would say, as opposed. And I think of just like when I think of masculinity and femininity, they're like opposites.
Interesting. Yeah. It's like a yin and yang. It's a balance. You know?
Right.
So, femininity. Jesus, hard word. You would say that that's maybe more like expressive with emotion, and then masculinity would be more reserved.
Right.
Perhaps you're keeping it to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's because of maintaining composure, or do you think it's of like a reluctance to share emotion, a reluctance to put your emotion out?
I think on the image of masculinity would be composure in that sense, but it could be both. I think behind the scenes, it's both for sure. Yeah. It's definitely a reluctance for men to share and express their emotions. I definitely feel that with myself too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that with a number of our friends sometimes, right? We're not going to be like naming names of who's not sharing their emotion, but I think that that's common in many friend circles, is that there are people who are sharers and people who aren't.
For sure, yeah.
Right? Especially among friend circles of men, right? Obviously, I'm a sharer, hence the podcast. But I would agree with you, though, that I see those traits as maybe like stereotypically masculine as well.
Definitely stereotypical.
And I guess that's a bit of it as well, is that it's like, what to you is stereotypically masculine? What is maybe something you see as masculine in the future? That could be a thing to think about too. Yeah. I want to tag on to that initial question of what you think masculinity is. So right now we got Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, sure.
That's masculinity.
Right.
Get your sunglasses, everybody. What do you think culture and our time plays into masculinity with? I mean, living in Vancouver, right? Living in North America, Canada, our space and what we're surrounded by might influence what we think of masculinity, or what makes someone masculine, right? Or what's okay in like the masculine world, you know? What I mean by that is, in other cultures, sometimes you see things very differently. I'm thinking of cultures where it's normal for men to walk around holding hands. There are cultures that do that. We don't, right? I mean, you do your little hand thing with me on the podcast, but what? But I think that's even just something as simple as that. Hand holding, showing affection in that way is something that maybe our Western culture doesn't do all that often between men.
Would that be considered hand holding with another man? Would that be considered not masculine? Would that be the opposite? To me,
this is when it starts to
it starts to blur
a little bit. Right. Yeah. It's like, what is masculine? What really is masculine? I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. Right. I just have things that I associate with masculinity and femininity in men. But yeah, maybe to me, I guess I see like hand holding, like I'm cool with it. But at the same time, personally, I wouldn't want to walk around just holding hands with my buddy for whatever reason. I don't know. To me, I wouldn't want to do it in like public. I would feel like it makes me look like less of a man, or maybe it makes me not look like a straight guy. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like maybe it starts to get towards that, but like I do it. Yeah. You know, it's not, it doesn't change me. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, is like you can do all these things, but the action doesn't make you one thing or another.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
that's right.
I guess to come back to the question, how much of a role do you think culture and our current time, our generation, where we are at in 2021 plays into masculinity and what you think of masculinity?
I was trying to think about like social media. Like, social media is huge, obviously.
Mm.
I feel like masculinity has driven away a little bit from like being buff and like alpha male-ish to, I don't know where it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Think about like painting your nails.
Sure.
You know, to me, that's a feminine
Right.
thing. It's a feminine trait. It's a feminine characteristic that you've done. It's something you've done to your body. It's a feminine thing to do, but it's something that's becoming way more commonplace.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. Especially in younger generations. Yeah. Like dudes are doing this all the time.
Yeah, I guess so.
This guy still hasn't downloaded TikTok. Come on. You gotta get on there.
Never.
Man, never. But I mean, even look at Sebastian. Yeah. Sebastian, who was on first episode of this season.
Yeah.
He had his nails painted on that one. They were black, I think, in that episode. But right now he's got, like, the last time we saw him, he has little smiley faces on him. And it's kind of cute, man. Yeah. I low-key want to do it. I kind of want to get my nails painted.
Looks fun.
It looks fun. It looks fun, man. Maybe that's another thing with masculinity and femininity is like I look at the feminist stuff as the more, like, free side of things.
Right.
I look at masculine as a bit more rigid and reserved. It's all that
exactly,
reserved idea.
Femininity is more expressive. Masculinity, like more reserved, more in the lines, you know, coloring in the lines.
Yeah. You're coloring in the lines, man. Yeah, I was always told as a kid, you got to color in the lines. Right. And then you realize, fuck, I'm not going to go right over this.
Who gave you these lines?
Who gave me these lines, right? Get them out of here. Yeah. I want squiggles. Another thing that I think about, and I'll come back to the nails thing, because I think that that's becoming more of a common masculine thing. Not that it's common, but it's more accepted. I guess maybe that's the difference.
I feel like accepted would be the right word.
When you look at anything that it's as traditional in Western culture, and for the record, all of the stuff that we talk about is from a Western culture standpoint. That's where we've grown up, right? So that's what we're referencing. In a Western culture, when you think about traditional values, I think they do get very, separated, segregated between masculinity and femininity. You know, they don't blur.
They don't
traditionally.
Blur. They don't touch.
Right? You have
roles.
Really touch. Yeah. You assume roles, especially in relationships, households, partnerships, friendships. You assume roles. And I think that those roles are breaking down. And so I think that that's why masculinity and femininity are starting to blur a little bit more. You're getting more of each sort of tossed in with everybody.
Yeah, there's less stereotyping for each of those things now going on. Because it's not the world's coming, there's more like
it's a broader acceptance
because there's like more eyes on the world now. There's more eyes out there. Social media plays a huge part in that. So there's less
like judgment,
right?
But at the same time, there's more perspectives coming together and telling you what's okay.
Yes, which leads to more open-mindedness.
It's like in a growing international space, right? The world is more interconnected more than ever now because you're seeing stuff from different cultures. You're more likely to see things that are maybe outside of what you would normally accept. Yeah. But now that they're in front of you, it's like, it's whatever. Yeah. I think that that's a very real thing too with becoming accepting or just changing your views on masculinity, around sexuality, whatever it might be. I think that your views can change the more you're exposed to something.
For sure, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Just by being around stuff, I think that your perspectives can change.
Yeah. For example, if you a lot of the time you send me new music, and I would, not a lot of the time, but like half the time, I'm not particularly fond of the song.
Sure.
But I'll give it I'll give it a listen. Yeah. And I'll be like, the song's decent. I'm not going to download it on my phone. But then you play it, let's say you play it at your place, or you play it at like our next trip. I've heard it 3 or 4 times now, and I'm digging the song. Right.
Exposure.
Yeah, exactly. It grows on you. Exposure, you're becoming more open-minded to it.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's like music, I guess. Yeah. All this kind of stuff. And any perspective, any thought is like music. It grows on you. The more you listen to it, if you're willing to accept it, and if it's not offending you, you're going to keep coming back to it. You might keep coming back to it.
If you're not stubborn to the subject, then there's still a little bit of open-mindedness.
Thing, man. Stubbornness too. Yeah. I think that stubbornness is a limitation in people's lives. You know, I mean, obviously it is. When you're stubborn, you're not willing to change. You're not willing to accept different things. But that's going to be such a negative moving forward in the world, and in a world that is moving as quickly as it is, in what's becoming okay and what's not being sort of stigmatized anymore. You know, to be different isn't such a bad thing anymore, right? You're changing your ways quite a bit. I'll go back for a second to how being around something, things can grow on you, and things can, I guess, shift in your own head around how much you accept something. And you can share as much as you'd like.
Sure.
And stop me at any point if I'm getting like too picky with you or anything.
Yeah.
But I'll share
Stop.
I'll share for the audience that when I met you, when I knew you, you weren't as open to showing affection towards other men the way that I do.
Sure.
You weren't as open to things that might kind of blur the lines of like really masculine, traditionally masculine and feminine, and maybe not like wholly traditionally straight either from what I do. I've talked about it before. I've kissed most of my guy friends. You know what I'm saying? I've even kissed you. Sorry to out the world. It was on my birthday. He got paid $200 to kiss me on my birthday. $100 came out of my own pocket.
Yeah, that's right.
$100, man.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely, it was worth it, man. And you said no pictures, and yet someone got the perfect photo on film.
I got no pictures. I would go around to all the friends and make sure everyone has their phone like out of sight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, let's get this over with quickly. Lean in for the kiss. Big flash to the right side. Huge flash. Was not even a phone camera. It was like a real camera.
I love it, man. So good. So good. And then for like weeks after, you're going, he's just $200 I ever made.
Yeah, exactly. I was
trying to play it off like you're not rattled. There's a photo out there of you kissing a dude. Anyways, though, like who I am, and I think a lot of it came down to, or has come down to, how I was brought up. A lot of whatever you are is based on how you're brought up. We touched on it in the last episode. As a kid, you latch on to things around you, right?
For sure.
For me growing up, I, first of all, was raised by my mom, right? Just my mom, no father. And so I don't have the traditional male presence in my life, masculine presence in my life, telling me to be these masculine things. I got my mom telling me to be me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a mom. At the end of the day, there's going to be some feminine traits coming out of there, you know, undeniably. Sure. And then one of the closest, I guess, father figures that I had growing up was a gay man. It was this guy, Brad, right? And he, like, it's not that he was like showing me like, oh, here I am being gay, nothing like that. Yeah. It's just I was around him, and so it was normal, and it was that exposure.
Exactly.
It was the constant seeing these things that made me, I think, a bit more feminine the way that I am.
Sure.
I'm just more open with how I show affection to people. I don't care about kissing a guy. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is okay.
Yeah.
Why for you would you not even want a photo of you kissing a guy at that time in your life? And maybe that's different today. I don't know if that's different today, because I'll really quickly wrap up my thought here.
Stop. Sorry. Quick wrap up your thought.
From when I knew you to how I know you now, you have changed quite a bit.
You think so?
And I do. I think you're way more open to this stuff. Not that you're like going out searching for it, but I think that you're so much more open to it. And I wonder why.
I feel like the main thing is just that, again, exposure to someone like you.
This guy.
We've been getting closer and closer as friends over like the past, I don't know,
couple years. Yeah,
a couple years. So obviously I was a little more reserved in that aspect when we first started hanging out, and then I would see that like all of our other friends that like you were like people in your year, friends that were in your year, they're like, oh, classic Reuben.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I'm like, oh, you guys are okay with this?
Yeah.
And eventually I would just be seeing that a lot because we'd be hanging out more and more. So again, it's exposure. But I feel like the reason I was not so open to those like ideas and like and things like that was I think when my parents divorced early, I would be with my dad. Both my brothers and I would be with my dad more than my mom. So I would get that traditional male role, and he was like he was born in England, so, and then he was raised in like a strict household kind of. So he brought those traditional roles into raising us. So I think that had a big role. But I feel like I still have those thoughts, those traditional type thoughts, But I think the main reason I'm more comfortable with our friends now is that just exposure to everybody. I'm comfortable with any of those actions going on. And I know it's like, it's all playful and it's all friendly.
Yeah.
So that stuff doesn't scare me.
Right.
It doesn't scare me as much as if I was hanging out with like strangers.
Mm-hmm.
So exposure is definitely a big part. I would say the biggest part in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondary would be my dad raising us with those traditional morals, not morals, but traditional
values,
ideas.
Ideals. Yeah. I actually wondered that before asking you that question when I was thinking about our conversation today. I was wondering if you living with your father had much to play into that, and I figured maybe it would. Yeah,
I hadn't put much thought into it, but for sure, yeah.
And it makes sense, right? You're around men. You were surrounded by men the majority of your adolescent life.
It was just like four men in the house. So pretty much,
of course it's gonna be masculinity coming out all the time. Yeah. So it's a very interesting, I think, dynamic between you and me, right? You have all men, and I had one woman, and that was it, right? So I thought that's really cool. That's nice. That's good reflection, man.
Yeah, I was in a house full of men. You were with one woman, and we turned out, think about it in that way.
It's interesting the fact that we come together and we can be as good as friends as we are. It's a very different upbringing, right? Very different values.
I was kind of thinking of it in like the funny way. Oh, like I'm in a house with three dudes. You're in the house with a woman. Like it's a sausage fest in my house.
There it is. I'm chilling with my mom. You got a bunch of dudes, bunch of bros. Okay. Now I'm on board.
Sure.
I find that makes total sense, coming from the upbringing that you had, and then the exposure, just being around other people who were maybe a bit more open. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Why you kind of end up feeling about things the way you might feel about things.
Yeah.
This is something, and this is why I find it interesting that you came from a household that traditionally masculine, and you might have some of those more traditional values, morals, whatever. Mm-hmm. Something that you do quite a bit of, and I love that you do it because I've taken after some of what you do. I've started to copy it, incorporate it into my own life.
Right.
Is manscaping, but like, I don't know if y'all can see it. Look at his legs. Look at his legs, trimmed, but they're defined, and that's what I love about it, and that's why I do it now. I trim my legs because it makes them look good.
Just imagine you trimming your legs, and you got a picture of me up on the mirror.
I gotta look like this guy. He can't keep getting away with this. But I wonder, like, where did that come into your life? Like, why do you dive into something like that? Because to me, I see that as something that's a little bit feminine, going as far as trimming your legs. And it took me a bit to get to it. Yeah. So I think it goes both ways. There are parts of me being who I am, and the exposure made me feel like, or made you feel like you could be more okay with things. The same thing goes for that. When I saw that, I was like, that's weird. Like, I don't want to do that. But Cavs is Mr. Manly. I see you as Mr. Manly. Cavs is Mr. Manly. I can do that if he can do that. Yeah. So it took me a while to come around to it, and then eventually I did, and I'm never looking back, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Like a swimmer.
More aerodynamic. I don't know what else.
Built for speed.
Yeah. I don't know when I really started. Started with the mustache for sure.
Yeah.
The mustache, obviously, for sure. And it was so weird. I remember having
started with the mustache, like growing a mustache.
No, like trimming the mustache.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Bringing it down.
But yeah. Cause that was probably the first like hairs that obviously not on my head that came out. Actually, I don't know. We're talking. Oh, okay. No, we're talking
above the neck here.
The first hairs I trimmed.
Yeah.
So I was going for the mustache. What it might have been.
Fucking sprayed.
Might have been grade 8 or grade 9, and then I trimmed it, and it was like, I remember one of my friends and in grade 8, or I don't know, it was grade 8, grade 9.
Yeah.
And he noticed right away when I got to school. He's like, yo, fresh shave. I got like super embarrassed because I obviously had like a thick like not thick, but it was like long hairs.
And you have dark hair too.
Right.
You can't hide that shit.
Yeah. And I'm Indian, so we're typically hairy. So I started with that. And I guess, I don't know when I really started like trimming. I must have started trimming legs or arm. It might have been both. But I'd trim it, and then I was working out, already working out at the time. I was about
to ask, did bodybuilding have anything to do with it?
I feel like that was maybe the main thing, just because, no, No, I think I just personally, I don't like having long hairs.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like being hairy.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that is traditionally very masculine, right? Is having body hair, right? You talked about chest hair flowing with Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
I don't like hair. I really don't like hair.
Yeah.
For me, it would bother me when my like arm hair would be like poking through a shirt and stuff. Like it would get that long. I haven't trimmed my arms now in like a couple weeks. Not even, maybe just a week and a bit. But it's already getting to a length where it's kind of bothering me, especially around the hands. I don't like hair on my hands.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hand hair really bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like I feel like it should be kind of have like a clean look.
Yeah, it looks cleaner.
Should be trim. Like I don't know if it has anything to do when you see like a dude that's hairy, you assume that they're less hygienic.
Yeah,
I feel like that kind of plays into people's heads and also into mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be. I care. Maybe I don't know if we care too much about appearance in that way, but
I don't know if it's caring about appearance. I care about myself when I don't sort of upkeep like that.
Yeah,
I do feel less clean. I feel less hygienic. I don't feel as good about myself.
Right.
It has like the same effect as going to the gym regularly with me. It's like another thing to maintain about myself that I keep in control.
Good feeling after getting a fresh haircut.
Dude, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my God,
yeah.
man. Absolutely. One of the best feelings in the world.
Top 5?
Top five.
Maybe?
We'll go over the other top 4 because I know 3 of those.
Yeah. Poop and pee and
and one more. I haven't been getting like haircuts for a little bit because I am starting to grow out my hair and I haven't trimmed the top in a while, but I've been like tapering the sides, so I don't get to have that feeling for a little while until I get bored of doing this and then I think, fuck it, we're gonna go back to something else. Anyways, so that to me just kind of it contradicts in a way the traditional, the typical masculine, than to see that you're someone who looks after your appearance as much as you do, right? And I think it's a great thing to look after your appearance. I think it shows that you care, right? And it shows you care about yourself enough to put out the effort like that. Yeah,
because I feel like
not necessarily trimming your arms and legs. Not everybody has to do that.
No,
I think something as simple as maintaining a beard line. Go for the fresh beard line.
Yeah,
if you can grow a beard. Something else. This is a pro tip. I've on occasion had people comment on the fact that my eyebrows looked well kept. I don't even trim them. I sometimes trim like a line of them, but I brush them. I brush them every day before I go out. You brush them up.
I've gotten those comments a few times,
and I love it.
Yeah, I enjoy those comments as well.
I love a little compliment.
Just the little trim up here.
Yeah. You brush them up and then you trim the line to where you want it to be.
Simple.
I go for more of a rounded brow. Maybe I should start going for more of a square. I don't know. I don't know if I have the frame for it. The face. I think that you've got the face. I hit him with the Vogue. But something even as simple as that, it's an extra step to show that you're caring about your hygiene. Mm-hmm. But I think even that is something that's a little more feminine. Yeah. Caring about how about like a skincare routine?
Sure. Yeah.
Caring about your skin, that isn't masculine, but I feel like now it might be. I feel like a man should care about their skin. A man should care about these things. A man should care about their nails. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that should be real. You shouldn't go around with untrimmed nails. I'm looking at your nails. They look great. Nice and short. Mine could use some work. You're not seeing them. All right. Don't rewind. You're not seeing these.
Yeah. I'll start walking around like a caveman.
Cavemen are masculine.
We're comparing him like, caveman. Hairy. They're not trimming. They can't.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They ain't got the time. That is another thing that's fair. You know what? I think that we should acknowledge the fact that we have the luxury of time and the ability to care about stupid shit like this because our lives are good enough that we can.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think there are other parts of the world where this is the least concern.
Yeah. No, these are
trimming your body.
First world problems.
Yeah.
First world issues.
Fuck, my legs don't look slick enough today. Man, I hate trimming legs though. Trimming legs,
it's tedious.
It takes an hour.
Yeah.
At least to get through both of these things.
Yeah.
And they're long goddamn legs too, man. Like holy shit. You and me both.
Yeah.
We should scissor sometime, figure out who's got the longer legs.
Might cost you double.
2 times 0. We're talking 0. We're in. Oh man. So along the same sort of tune of masculinity, I've alluded to the start of the conversation, perhaps a little bit about sexuality as well. This is a conversation that I have not had with anybody in depth, and we'll just kind of roll with the punches, and you might help me figure out things about myself here.
Sure.
And I talked about it on Leroy's episode. There was a point in my life where I thought maybe I was bisexual. I'm quite sure at this point in my life that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But I say quite sure because I haven't experimented with the other side.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to. It scares me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I also don't have like an urge to.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I think that there's two sides to that as well. Have you heard of this thing? It's called the Kinsey Scale.
Have not.
I'm going to double check before I keep talking about it that it's a real thing.
The Kinsey Scale.
The Kinsey Scale. I'm quite sure that it is, but I'm going to double check that it is. Give me a moment, everybody. It's fuck. So the Kinsey Scale is from the Kinsey Institute. I don't know what who they are or anything. I'm just pulling up
Ben
a graph
Kingsley?
here. No, Kinsey. Yeah, it's the Kingsley scale. He comes in and just stares at you with his bald head. It's a scale from 0 to 6, and I'll show you the chart here. And I'll put an image of the chart on the screen just for a moment so y'all can see it. This is the charts. Yeah, we'll put it up over there. This is the chart, so you can see it. But it's a scale from 0 to 6, and is it 0 that's completely heterosexual?
It is.
And then 6 that is completely homosexual. And it's, of course, looking at just varying bisexual responses. That's what exclusively heterosexual, exclusively homosexual, and then varying bisexual responses. It's a scale from 0 to 6, and I'm someone who believes that not most people, I would go as far to say 9 out of 10 with my bullshit non-scientist assumptions, that
Certified.
nobody is on or 1 out of 10 people would maybe be on a 0 or a 6 of being completely one way or the other. I think most people exist on this scale. And I heard about the Kinsey Scale back in high school. It must have been like grade 11 or 12 or something. And I heard about it and I saw it and I was like, oh, where would I put myself on that? You know, and I thought, oh, maybe I'd put myself at like a 2, but why would I be at a 2?
Yeah.
I don't know what things I've done.
Yeah.
You know, I think we talked about it at the start of our conversation today that you can get fixated on an act as sort of defining where you fit and how certain actions might make you more masculine, feminine, less heterosexual, more homosexual, vice versa, whatever. I don't think it's the actions that do it, but my mind tends to fixate on acts. If this is making sense. So I tried to use that to justify as a young person, and I am still a youngish person, that like, okay, because I haven't done anything, I'm not that.
Yeah, right.
I have to still be straight completely.
Right.
And I think I am.
Yeah.
I think so.
But that's what you're saying. That's what you shouldn't be basing it off of, like what we've done.
I don't think we should base it off of what we've done.
So.
I think
it comes more to mindset.
It's such an internal thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's something that's not surface level.
Yeah.
You know, because a person isn't who they are based on what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that extends to any part of your life or any judgment of character, personality, whatever. You're not who you are because of some action, right? You're who you are because of a collection of experiences and perspectives, right? That builds who you are, and who you are changes with time. I think that brings in the whole idea of that whole fluidity of this kind of stuff, of being masculine, feminine, whatever. But yeah, as a kid, I've questioned at points where I would fall on that.
Sure. Yeah, because if you, let's say you'd shown me that scale 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, I'm at like instantly response.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm at a 0.
I'm a
Don't
0.
worry. Yeah. I'd say, oh yeah, I'm at a 0. Why would you even ask that? It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Why is
that
like
defensive on it?
Yeah. What is that scale? What the hell?
Scale?
Yeah, that would be like the response.
Should be only 0 on there.
I guess just because like typically I would feel afraid to even think that I would be somewhere else on that scale. And I don't know why people, it's just the initial response, right? People tend to be like afraid of things they're not aware, or they don't know, like they tend to be afraid of things they don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
they're not
a
familiar
fear
with
of the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fear of something that doesn't maybe align with what you're telling yourself you are.
Yeah.
Right. And what maybe people have told you you are your whole life, what you think you need to be for other people in your life too. I think that plays into it a bit.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like, maybe this is reaching, but maybe there is a part. I feel like this is a counselor session at this point. Again, go get counseling, everybody. Men should get counseling.
That's feminine. Okay. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that's feminine though.
Definitely
even
not. I think in today's era.
What about in traditional? You think counseling?
Yeah, because men wouldn't talk about their problems.
True. Yeah.
No, men, you don't. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to get your shit out there.
I'm just picturing like a couple back in the day, like going to marriage counseling. The guy just sitting there pissed.
Yeah. Why am I even here?
yeah, exactly. I pay good money for this.
Oh man. And this might be reaching, but it's something that if the thought's there, it must be real. You know, this is the thing. I encourage everybody, if you have a thought, get it out, play with it in the world and see what you think about it. You know, think about it once it's out there. Maybe there was a part of me, especially growing up, where I'm raised by a single mom, father figure, or one of the father figures in my life growing up was gay. Maybe I didn't want to be, I wouldn't want to be gay. I wouldn't want to, I don't know, fit like some mold that, the single mom's son is the gay kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not, but maybe there was a part of me too growing up where it was like, I would really want to shy away from that. I wouldn't want to like express things in that way or whatever. But then I ended up being the way that I am, where I'm just like okay with whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching with that, but
no, I
get
what you mean. Yeah.
You know, but I'll try and like sort of come back to the whole topic of masculinity and how that changes and everything. I do feel that a label is sort of exclusive more than it is inclusive to people. You know, I think that can go with calling anything masculine, anything feminine, anything heterosexual, homosexual, whatever on that spectrum with a Kinsey Scale, whatever. When you're applying labels to things, you're applying restrictions to things.
Yeah.
No matter what. Right? It can be the most freeing label that you could think of. You could call it just being a person. That could be restrictive in a way, you know?
Yeah,
but
now it is.
But I think that's a pretty open one, at least.
Yeah, but a lot of these labels can start off harmless, and they can change the way people think just by having that label on there, and they can become like a dangerous. It can invoke dangerous thoughts.
It can create stereotypes around groups. It can create stigmas around groups. Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that as great as it is to feel almost like a sense of connectedness to other people who might share a similar label to you, a label at the end of the day is something that might be limiting. Even being a straight masculine man, that can be limiting too, because then if you stray outside of that, you know, that's not okay then, you know, like you're coloring outside the lines.
Exactly. You're supposed to stay in your box.
You're supposed to stay in your box and just be the one thing. But that is changing. I think it's so good that that's changing. I think that it's an interesting world that we live in, and it's going to be interesting going forward how much of it continues to change.
Yeah.
But I think it can provide comfort to people like myself, maybe, who are growing up and wondering the same things that I wondered when I was going through high school or coming out of high school, whatever. It's like, am I this thing? Am I in that group? Am I in that group? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just being who you are.
Yeah. It's funny how those traditional labels can cause so much stress for one person growing up. And they're just labels at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like someone
else is putting them.
Someone put that there, and they don't like what credentials do they have to put those labels there? Right?
What gives them the right?
Exactly.
What gives you the right?
What gives them the right? Who do they think they are?
Who do they think they are?
I mean, because at the end of the day, when someone's creating those labels, exactly, like why do they have more of a right than anyone else to create those labels on this certain topic of like masculinity, sexuality type of thing? Yeah,
there's no one way about anything, about most things. I mean, maybe math, but even then you could argue someone came up with that shit.
Yeah,
but
get a life, loser.
Get a life, you nerd. I think you make an excellent point, which is that all of these labels around stuff are created by somebody, right? And so people are just agreeing with what that person is designated as a label, you know?
Yeah.
I think part of being as interconnected as the world is that those labels are blurring, they're dissolving a little bit because more people are bringing in their own perspective of the same name of something, right? For lack of a better word here, but the same label, and looking at it differently. They're defining the label differently. They're defining what it means to be a man, to be masculine differently. Yeah. Right. And so you're getting all these different people saying, no, this is masculine. This is masculine. This is masculine. It's all masculine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Paint your fucking nails.
Yeah.
I feel like I will.
Shave your legs.
I might even paint. Please shave your legs.
Trim your legs.
If you haven't, you should try it. You should absolutely try
Free
it.
the leg.
Free the leg.
Free the leg.
Got zippers on these.
There we
Free
go. Free the leg.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's cool, man. People are, I think, going to become more and more comfortable with themselves, I hope, as the world continues to progress here. It's cool, man. It's a cool time. Something that I think we could do, well, I will do it if it's there, if it's available on our trip. So we have a trip in 3 days. This will be coming out after the trip. We'll be back from the trip by the time this is out, but we have a trip in 3 days, and there might be something cool coming out of the trip as far as podcast goes. No promises. We'll hopefully get it working, but I might want to paint my nails or something. I'll paint my nails on the trip. Have a little fun.
Yeah.
You know, do something cool.
The one.
Yeah, a little, just the pinky.
A little Dr. Evil.
Imagine, dude, you know, it'd be so sick. Like a tiny little portrait of you on there. So it's a little mini me. You know?
You need a super thin,
super thin brush.
Someone with a steady hand.
Heart the surgeon, number one.
Yakuza boss die. Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to cut this out.
No, man.
No,
it's The Office.
Yeah,
you don't have to cut any of this out. Maybe one last question around masculinity, femininity. Still tough to say, and then we'll sort of start to wrap things up. We'll sort of start to wrap things up a little bit. Are there any traits of yours that you would consider feminine? For example, trimming them legs.
Trimming the legs, sure. Trimming the arms. Once in a while, I'll do the skincare routine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ever do masks? Little face masks?
Not since like I had a girlfriend.
We've done one.
Have we?
We put, yeah.
When?
I feel like
was I awake?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. No, it wasn't you. It was me and Jesse Dawson and AJ. There's a photo of us all with a little green tea tree or whatever face mask. Yeah. They're all both shirtless. I looked like shit, standing in the back hiding my body. Some mirror photo. But anyways, sorry. Once in a while, you do the skincare routine.
Skincare routine whenever I remember I'm not like too tired after the shower. I feel like before when I was growing up, my dad would give us like shampoo to use in our shower and stuff. I don't know if conditioner like
well, back you guys would get the 2-in-1s, man. The 2-in-1s.
Oh, the 2-in-1s, yeah. The 3-in-1s, the 3-in-1s.
The body wash too.
Brandon.
Little 3-in-1 body wash conditioner.
For some reason, when I was growing up and then I didn't start to use conditioner, but I was like reading up on conditioner. I had in my head that conditioner was like only women would use conditioner.
This is for your long hair.
Yeah. I think your long hair needs better maintenance, but conditioner needs to be softer. But I use conditioner now.
Yeah.
I need conditioner now.
Absolutely.
Like it's a staple. Yeah.
I mean, I hope Jesse's talked to you about conditioner and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
How often do you shampoo?
Shampoo and condition maybe like 3 times a week now.
Okay. Yeah, for your length of hair. I don't know, Jesse. You told me if I'm wrong.
I didn't really ask him. Like, I don't know. I would just assume before. Obviously, it's better than every day. Shouldn't be every day.
At this point, I shampoo once every week. At this point,
really, with
growing my hair out. Yeah, every day though I'll condition.
I've tried going less, and then my hair just gets kind of itchy. I don't know what
mine didn't do an itchy thing, but mine eventually got to a point where it feels just like softer.
Yeah, definitely.
Without shampooing.
You tried the cold water, Jesse's barbershop?
I haven't tried the cold water. I know I watched the video, but I haven't tried the cold water. I can't do a whole shower cold, but I realized I could just do the hair cold.
Yeah, It gets a little complicated in the old tub.
In the old tub, rub-a-dub-dub, stranger in the tub. So skincare, trimming your legs, those things that might be feminine. Something that I did think was feminine was carrying and buying maybe like more, I don't know, more better quality products to take care of yourself, like hair care stuff. Like I got like Bumble and Bumble shampoo and conditioner.
Top of the line.
Well, pretty good. Yeah. I'm sure there's more like crazy expensive stuff out there, but yeah, solid. Why am I downplaying it? Yeah, it's good stuff. Smells good, feels good, looks cute.
Sounds good.
Nice,
Bumble and
sounds
Bumble.
good. Bumble and Bumble.
Buzz,
oh
buzz.
yeah. Buzz. Bumblebee.
You like jazz?
Well, you like jazz? Yes, we got it back. And then I got like a Bumble and Bumble like curl defining cream that I throw in there sometimes now. And anyways, I used to think that kind of stuff was kind of feminine,
right?
And then like that trait of caring for yourself, I felt was feminine. I feel kind of the same way about you. It's to me the only feminine trait that I feel like I daily express is like taking care of myself, and I for some reason consider that feminine. Yeah. But I feel like it should be a masculine, or considered a masculine thing. This is that blur. This is that blur.
You're saying you should be considered also masculine? Yeah,
I think taking care of yourself is it should be a masculine thing too.
Maybe it shouldn't even be considered either. Maybe it should just be like something everyone should be doing.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's just
a thing.
I don't know
why I'm trying to put a label on it.
Stop putting those labels on it.
This fucking dickhead's trying to put labels on everything.
You think you're better than me?
Please. Anyways, I think here's a good kind of spot to wrap up, just to be mindful of time for everybody.
Some goddamn video games to play.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm keeping you from the hospital. Enjoy your hospital drops all night. Like, it's a boring game. Everybody, thank you for checking out this week's episode. Next week, hopefully, we are going to have something cool. Kabir and I were working on a fun thing. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to hype it up in case it doesn't pan out. But we're going to try a fun thing for the episode that will come out after this. But for now, hope you all enjoyed the talk. Maybe learned something or related to some of the stuff that we've gone through growing up and how we think about the world and who we are as people. And
maybe someone can enlighten us in the comments.
Yeah, sauce us what you think. How come you teach him and not me? I don't know. Just hit us with something. If you agree with something we said, disagree, want to expand on anything we said, just go ahead, leave comments. It's all cool. All fair game. Anyways, catch y'all on the flippity flip. Peace.